Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Makes 12.
Hi, today we're going to make walrus cupcakes. You'll need a cupcake that's been frosted in chocolate icing. And then you're going to add a small round donut sometimes they're called donut holes. We call them Timbits here in Canada because they come from a restaurant called Tim Hortons. They're called Timbits. And then using more chocolate icing, you're going to go around the donut and you're just going to fill in the gap between the donut and the cupcake and draw the icing upwards to make a nice smooth mound shape. And once that's done, you're going to put this on a plate and you're going to put it in the freezer for about 15 or 20 minutes just to make sure that the icing is nicely firmed up. While you're waiting for that, you can prepare the rest of the things that you need. Using chocolate wafer cookies, you're just going to slice off a couple of crescent shapes on the edges of the cookies using a sharp serrated knife and sawing back and forth gently. It'll come off quite nicely. And then cut one in half, and that's going to be the tail for the walrus. To make the tusks, you're using large marshmallows, and simply using the short end of the marshmallow, you're just going to slice off the corner of it using a pair of scissors. And if you turn it a little bit as you're cutting, you get a little crescent shape. So it makes it look like the tusks are curved in a little bit, as you can see there. You'll also need to take some of those wafer cookies, put them in a plastic bag, and crush them until they become fine crumbs. I'm using a ziploc bag and a rolling pin for that purpose. And once your cookies are crushed, you can put them in a bowl. You could also use Oreo cookie crumbs that you can purchase at the store already in a box for this, of course, as well. Then once the cupcake has been chilled, you're going to dunk it into the crumbs. If it is too hard to dunk it in, you simply just use a spoon and sprinkle it over top, and you can even pat it down a little bit to make it smooth. Once that cupcake is all covered, you're going to continue to decorate it. For the face, you're going to put a little bit of chocolate icing into a Ziploc bag and cut the corner off. And then you're going to pipe up 2 mounds. You can see it may be a little bit of a challenge to get the chocolate icing to stick to the crumbs, but it's doable. Pipe 2 mounds side by side on the side of the miniature donut, and then simply press in the white marshmallow pieces for the tusks, hanging downward. And that'll be the cut side of the marshmallow will be down, and that'll help it stick. Now these are little white little candy sprinkles. You can buy them multicolored, and in fact that's what I did. I just picked out a few of the white ones out of the multicolored mix, and you just simply sprinkle them on top of those little chocolate mounds to make the places where the walrus would have whiskers. And then a miniature brown M&M for the nose. And for the eyes, it's 2 small globs of brown icing. Once again, sometimes it's hard to get it to stick to the chocolate crumbs. And then I'm just applying 2 chocolate sprinkles for the eyes, because they have kind of little squinty eyes, and this kind of imitates that. And you'll see what it looks like when it's all done. I think it looks cute. So little chocolate sprinkles, you could use whatever else you wanted, of course, here, miniature M&Ms. And to attach the flippers, you're just going to put some icing on the side and then attach the flipper. And just push them into a little bit so that they stick on. And you can add more of the crumbs over top. For the tail, you put a glob of icing and then attach the tail. Now, the book that I found this in, Hello Cupcake, says to just put a tail that like a half circle tail, but I actually didn't like that. I didn't think it looked like a walrus tail at all. So this is what I did. I just kind of designed my own. I just made a little triangular notch in the bottom of the cookie carefully with a sharp knife, and then I just cut the sides off to make a larger triangle shape. And see, I just made a little tail shape like that. You can just do whatever you'd like. So a little bit of icing, and then I'm attaching my little modified tail onto the walrus. I find this looks more like a walrus tail. A little bit more like one. And there's the completed walrus. There he is. If you have some chocolate frosting that is showing and you don't want it, you can just sprinkle some more of those crumbs over top. And there is your completed walrus. Very cute, very simple. I'm not quite sure what kind of event you would serve these at, but if you're doing a bunch of different kinds of animal cupcakes, this would fit right in. Give them a try.